Welcome to the Designaknit 8 video learning series. In this tutorial we'll be learning about the various tools and icons running up the side of the workspace in the Stitch Designer section of the program, shown here in pink as one of the 5 major sections of Designaknit. We'll be covering the yarn color features and how to create yarn patterns on your fabric using these icons here. There are some stitch symbols shown here and many more in the Knit Right font available to you, and we will be covering this stitch symbols and a separate cables tutorial. This is a left mouse button color because it has a left white square in the color box. This is a middle mouse button color, which is reached by pressing the middle button of a 3 mouse button mouse or the left and right mouse buttons at the same time. This is a right mouse button color, and it's also transparent. These are opaque because this is colored in, and we can make transparent just by clicking on them, and you can see that they're transparent. This becomes important when you're using patterns that need one transparent pattern and one opaque color per row. So we'll worry about that at another time. At any time we can say File, New from Default, and I'm not going to save this, and it brings up everything exactly the same as if I had just started designing it again. And all this 40 by 40 stitch repeat and the hand knitting and the stitch symbols and yarn palette are there. Let's say View, and let's turn off the stitch symbols again, and I have just my yarn palette. I tend to use just the right and the left mouse button colors. You can easily change from this color to this as the left mouse button color simply by clicking on it. If we say File, New from Pattern Default, the first thing it says is I'm hand knitting flat stockinette stitch, but I'm going to change this knitting method here. I'm going to change it from stocking stitch flat, I could knit circular if I want, to hand knitting, machine knitting, and I'm going to knit with the silver reed SK840, and I'm going to design this in Tarsha because it's going to have lots of colors on the design. OK to continue. The next thing is the size. Do I want to keep it 40 by 40? Do I want to set the size manually at 100 by 100 I have right now, which is what I would like? Or if I have a shaping pattern open, do I want to set the size from a pattern piece from that shaping file, such as give me a piece of fabric big enough for the front? The palette that you use, the current palette, the default pattern palette for the knitting method, and from a file that you've used before are all available to you. We're going to use the default palette. OK to continue. It asks you one last set of questions. You can notice the stitches are already smaller because we have 100 by 100 repeat here instead of 40 by 40. It's asking you, do you want to keep the default tensions of 28 and stitches and 40 rows, or do you want to change them, or do you want to take them information from a shaping file? I'm going to keep them at 28 and 40 for now. OK to continue. Let's pick red as the left mouse button color, and let's pick up the pencil, and you can see that the pencil now is highlighted. It will continue to stay highlighted until you turn it off. I have a pencil that's leaning to the left because I'm left-handed, which is not the default. The default is have a right-handed pencil like this, and that's what you will have, but for me I like to change it to a left-handed pencil because it draws with the same way that I hold the pencil. And I can dot in individual stitches to make a pattern, or I can draw a pattern, a freehand pattern, and I can say undo and undo again, and I can keep undoing things until it's all gone. I could also draw with my pencil. Let's pick yellow this time. And I can instead of saying undo, I can say edit, clear yarn colors, and it will clear all the yarn colors so that the one that remains is the background color, which is the right mouse button color at the time. If I set this to green, and I said clear yarn colors, it would clear it to green, which is the right mouse button color. Let's go back to the blue and let's clear it to blue. Okay, let's pick up the brush. The brush has a set of options that come with it. Let's pick up the very largest brush that we have, and we can see that we can draw in much thicker widths of the line. This is useful if you have a red pencil design here, and then you wanted to pick up the brush in yellow and just draw it out. Or to pick up the blue pencil and to draw it out so that all you have left is background. And once we could also do the same thing by saying edit, clear yarn colors, and it will clear it to the right mouse button color. The next pencil that we want to worry about is the line. And the line, let's pick purple as our left mouse button color. You click down once and then you drag a line to exactly where you want it to be. And I've made now a straight line in my design. I can click again and I can draw another line until it's straight. I can click this stitches equals rows option down here, and now when I try and design an angle here, the only angle it's giving me is stitches, the number of stitches equals the number of rows, just like 100 stitches by 100 rows. So that's quite handy. The next thing is the box, and there's two different kinds of boxes. One is an empty box, which is what we're going to use now in, let's say, green as the left mouse button color. And here's my green box. And I can also turn on the filled box, and I'm going to fill it with yellow as the right mouse button color. I'm going to draw another green box, which is the left mouse button color for the outside of the box. And the inside of the box will be filled with the right mouse button color. Notice that it filled in the purple and the green that were already here inside this box. I can say undo and you can see this back again, and redo to have it back. The circle, let's draw a circle in light purple. Does the same thing as the square, and I have it on the filled circle right now, so it drew the outside in the left mouse button color light pink, purple, or pink, and it drew the right mouse button color into the inside of the circle in yellow. So let's turn this off. Remember, for these you have to turn the tools on and off as you go. There's also a filled bucket icon, and I could pick up this darker purple and I can fill in this square. It still has the lighter pink outline, very hard to see. You can see my icon looks like a paint bucket right now. I can flow in this design. This two different designs. This one flood fills it without the colors passing to stitches matching diagonally. These are diagonal stitches, so the color went through this and into this section of the. Let's do this on this side, and you can see that it's crossed over this line and into this area because I had my fill going across diagonals. If we change it so it does not go across diagonals, and we picked up orange and picked up this, it would only fill in this part, but not this part as we had before when we had this other option selected to go across diagonals. And so you have two selective ways of filling in your design. Let's turn the paint bucket off. Let's turn the eyedropper on. Let's say we don't know exactly what color this is. You can see the eyedropper on the screen here hovering as I pass colors, hovering over the color that it is. If I click down with my mouse, I clicked here with my mouse, it has automatically made that color the left mouse button color. And it's really nice because we have 4 different shades of purple and we didn't know which color purple it was. And let's see if we can pick up this pink, which is only one stitch. Yes, we can, and this is the left mouse button color. So in the next tutorial we'll be talking about much more complicated designs, but this covers the basics of using your design. Thank you.